Oh man, does it hurt when you see an OG YouTuber getting caught using AI? So Hank Green, for those of you guys that don't know, is one of the most well-respected, well-known YouTubers in history. He actually made a channel with his brother called Crash Course that a lot of people have used throughout the years to basically consume educational content, and it is always done, in a crash course. So essentially, it is never really longer than like 15 minutes. They are able to explain some really good topics. And I used to even use them, for like science stuff when I was in high school and middle school and stuff like that. Like I said, he is one of the most well-respected YouTubers of all time, but he has recently been caught using AI scripts in his videos. He made a whole big response to it. We're going to get into a lot of it. It's a huge rabbit hole. And yeah, like I said, it's a pretty damn shame. So basically, he has a channel called Complexly, and he had a video or, an Ask Hank Anything, and it's literally titled, "Does Hank Green Shave His Butt?" This will actually be important later in terms of, the seriousness of this video and whatever. And yeah, it's like an hour-long Q&A thing, right? Well, during the Q&A, some people caught something that he said that didn't sound very human.
They matter. There's a thing in there that matters, and that's very cool. A better way to say it, and I appreciate the pushback, is a word is a human invention, and human inventions are made by bodies and brains working together.
Did you guys catch that? So he said, and I appreciate the pushback, right? Keep in mind, he's just talking to the camera. No one's talking back to him right now while he's speaking. So what does he mean? I appreciate the pushback. Well, obviously, when you are writing an AI script or generating something with AI, and you you push back a little bit, where you essentially say like, oh, could you condense this a little bit? Or could you explain this in a simpler way? The AI, technology and whatever, they typically do say something like that before they generate you a new response. They're like, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and make this simpler for you. And I appreciate the pushback. So he literally used an AI script for a Q&A about whether he shaves his ass or not. I mean, what the hell, man? So as you would imagine, he got a considerable amount of backlash for this. Not only do people hate in general when YouTubers use AI for scripts, thumbnails, titles, anything like that, but it's also one of the most original content creators of all time. Hank Green, the guy who made Crash Course with his brother. I mean, like I'm saying, like this guy was a huge source of information for a lot of us growing up. And like I said, one of the most well-respected YouTubers of all time. So he got a ton of hate for this, and he actually released a response, which he has since now deleted. And he has now created a new response just fresh off the press. This was only like 40 minutes ago as of this recording. So there was a tweet that was calling him out for using the AI scripts, and this was his original response, which I'm going to tell you right now is really bad. So he responded and said, I produced this under a ton of pressure, so I went and checked my process from start to finish. Before we even read the rest of this, you produced this under a ton of pressure. Brother, this is a Q&A on whether you shave your ass or not. What do you mean a ton of pressure? Even if this was the most important, serious video of all time, buddy, you are a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, millions of dollars. You're completely rich. You have no pressure. You work on everything on your own time and your own guideline. You're your own boss. I'm really sick and tired of content creators acting like they're some sort of victim or whatever. People would kill to be in the position that you are. As somebody who has worked real jobs, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have as well, it really sickens me when I hear like YouTubers and Twitch streamers talk about how much pressure they're under and how, things are getting so tough. Man, get the fuck out. You're your own boss. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm going on a rant. Let's actually read what he said. I did use ChatGPT for research on this script, and watching it, I definitely get an AI feel, so I think it's fair to say I was relying too much on generated notes. Research, huh? You AI generated essentially the entire script to the point where you said out loud, and I appreciate the pushback, and you didn't at all think like, oh, maybe, wait, actually that doesn't make any sense. Nobody pushed back on me. So not only was he just reading the AI generated script word for word, but I guess he wasn't even thinking while he was reading it, because obviously if you have an actual salient thought in your brain, you would be like, oh wait, I just said that out loud, didn't I gotta remove that part. He was reading it word for word to the point where he didn't even care what he was actually saying. That's the thing I've been doing, and it's a bad habit at a time when I've overcommitted myself. But I just went to my notes and the script for this, and neither contained the quote, I appreciate the pushback line. So that particular moment was an ad lib in reference to my guest pushing back on me, saying that words are purely made up. I don't believe that for a second. I'm sorry. I truly believe he was using a script and reading it. I appreciate the pushback. What are you, an AI yourself? I mean, that is like the exact verbiage that like the AI will use when you push back to them about anything. I mean, just admit that you were using the AI script, you're wrong, and you apologize. I mean, that's really what you have to do. I don't really understand the excuses of being under a ton of pressure or whatever. Once again, I mean, that's just like a whole victim mentality that I see a lot of content creators make that really like annoys me, because again, if you've actually worked real jobs, that's real pressure. You're you are rich, you are famous, you're very well respected. There is no pressure. You do everything on your own time. I don't want to hear about the pressure that you are receiving as a millionaire content creator. Get the hell out of here with that. So he wrote an entire soliloquy, like an entire book over here, a novel that's going to be published over here. So let's go over it together and let's see what you guys think, right? So he said, 3 things to start. I am mortified that I have let so many people down, and I think I understand how that happened. I'm going to change things about how I make stuff. Complexly's AI policy is public and well considered and adhered to by the whole team. I think it's worth reading. Complexly is a nonprofit that makes Crash Course and SciShow and a bunch of other shows that I do not write for. The thing that everything we do is based on is that you know that what I'm saying are my thoughts coming from my brain in the way I decide. I have made that harder and I'm sorry. I have been relying too heavily on AI as a research aid. Again, I really don't like the implication that he's just using it for research. You clearly used it to write that script and you clearly said something in that script that you shouldn't have said. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like he's not really being honest about what exactly happened here. It can be very useful for this task, giving me access to a lot of papers I didn't know existed really fast, but I think that has been to the detriment of my work because it has not given me the freedom to find all my own ways into and around a topic. But for clarity, the origin of claims in my video are not ChatGPT said this. I have been using AI to locate papers and other resources for learning about topics. You are still getting my takes based on what I read, know, and learn. Once again, that is now going to be extremely hard to believe now that we have known that you use AI to generate your own scripts. I think what people have said in this thread about me diluting myself is spot on. Ultimately, what I am most scared of is ruining myself for people, but I have not been managing my impulses well. You need to know that my words are mine. I don't think that this hasn't been true, but I've been moving so fast that my own process isn't actually clear to me, and I want to have it to be guaranteed moving forward. What I can't guarantee, though, is that we will agree about this technology or what to do with it. I think that's good. We need a lot of kinds of folks critiquing this technology. I'm not a pure AI hater, which people in the AI industry know. So when I say that the way these models were trained deeply disturbs me, that lands differently. When I say that I think that the speed at which these companies are trying to consolidate economic power should freak out everyone in the world, that's coming from someone who has, quote, nuanced takes. When I say I worry about the climate impacts of this rollout, this is not me saying I don't think this tech should ever exist. It's me saying, for God's sake, please don't make our biggest problem worse. I mean, what he's saying, I think, is why people are so mad at him to begin with. A lot of people see him as like a green scientist, someone who cares about the environment, somebody who has original takes, original research, everything like that. So when you get exposed for reading an AI generated script and then you give some BS excuse of, hey, I'm just under a ton of pressure, like, dude, you literally work for yourself. You have no pressure. It is such a slap in the face to people who actually go out there and, work real complicated jobs for a millionaire YouTuber to talk about how much pressure they're under. It is very likely that you, the reader, and I disagree on how or even whether AI should be used. I think it makes sense for that disagreement to exist, but I have also always believed that my audience is more likely to be right than I am. You know what this feels like in a way I can, and I am so sorry for diluting myself in this way and harming the thing that we have all built together. As for the quote, why don't you just make less? No one is making you do this. I'm not sure that's how I work. I've been feeling the pressure of, oh, I have this little video idea. I need to get it out real fast so I can get to the more important stuff, and I create when I feel that pressure. Okay, well then expect everybody to call you out for being lazy and not being able to write your own scripts yourself. I mean, if you are going to be instilling pressure into your own self, which I totally understand, at least do your own freaking work to push the video out, right? You don't have to be some sort of masterful content creator where you create like these beautiful visuals and all that. I say this all the time in almost every single video. My audience is probably tired of me saying this. I suck as a YouTuber. I'm just being honest, right? I'm a realist. I'm not even a good YouTuber at all, but at least when I make videos, when I make a thumbnail, when I make a title, when I'm speaking words in my videos, you know that it's me. You know that it's not an AI generated script, right? And even though I'm crap as a YouTuber, I will always hold my head up high and be like, you know what? At least I'm making the videos myself. And you, as a millionaire YouTuber who has been on YouTube for almost 20 years with a fantastic reputation, with the money to pay everybody to write scripts for you, for, to be able to have the highest production value possible, but you still are so lazy that you have to AI generate your scripts. And even when you read something incorrectly off of them, you're so robotic that you don't even notice it. I mean, that's where the problem arises, Hank. Making more things does not make me make better things. It does not make the big thing that we've been doing for 20 years better. I know that I can manage myself more efficiently. I want to make videos like the one I made yesterday on Hank's channel where the writing was the whole thing and I felt it all the way down, and I've been so enriched by people's responses to it. And sure, I'm probably going to make dumb, unscripted, straight to the camera thoughts videos sometimes, and then I'll play connections. Yeah, well, guess what? we would all prefer that as opposed to you AI generating scripts. So let's not act like you're going to get a ton of backlash if you say some stupid stuff that was unscripted. I mean, if anything, that makes a YouTuber seem more authentic. Mostly, I need to come to terms with the fact that the level of dopamine I've been getting from interacting with LLMs, with doing more and more and more and more, is not healthy for me or good for the world. It is careless and has disconnected me from where people are on this. So basically, they're saying expect less Hank's channel. It may be that Hank's channel comes back with writing and research support. It may be that it comes back with just way fewer videos. I'm going to spend this time finishing a video I've been working on for ages, and I think it really, really matters. So he's pausing some other stuff too. I do deeply want to support a good store. I'm very sorry for the harming the thing this is all based on. So my overall thoughts, right? Hank is, from what I understand, a pretty good guy. Same thing with his brother, right? He has done a lot of good for content creation and YouTube as a whole. Do I think he should lose his entire career, everything he's built over the last 20 years over this? No, but at the same time, I don't actually feel like he's being really honest in this post. I really, like I said, I really hate the excuses of pressure or research and all that type of stuff. I don't think these guys, I feel like you're out of touch with reality. I don't think these guys understand how much of a blessing it is to be able to be your own boss, to be a millionaire, right? And they obviously work for it. I'm not saying that they didn't put in hard work, but the gall to say that I'm going to be lazy as shit and AI generate scripts because I feel pressure, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? That pressure is all self-inflicted. And I'm sure he would admit to that, as he did. But then don't make excuses on why you're being lazy. Just admit that you were being lazy and you AI generated a script. Just say that you won't ever do that again. I mean, this is very simple. You didn't have to write a freaking novel over here. The whole Game of Thrones franchise was written over here just for you to make a bunch of excuses, right? And again, I'm not like a hater of Hank or anything like that. I would be responding like this no matter who the YouTuber was. At the end of the day, this website is what's it called, guys? It's called YouTube, right? So it should be about you, not the AI, right? You have millions of dollars. You can pay people to write your scripts, even if you don't want to do it. I just don't want to hear that bullshit about, oh, I felt a lot of pressure. Get out of here. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. This is the Hank Green AI drama. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.